welcome to the Be Life Fit podcast with Maddie Graham and Ryan Shanks. We wanted to deliver a bit of a podcast. This will be our first one for the more complex, in-depth topics that are maybe better described through a podcast rather than on video, so that you can download them and take them with you rather than having to sit in front of the computer and watch them. So today we're going to tackle the topic of health and fitness. What is health and fitness? What is it to be healthy and fit? And a few things that the current health and fitness industry sort of leads us to believe. So why don't you take us away, Shanksy? And
well, I guess the what is health? We'll tackle that individually. What is fitness? We'll tackle that individually, and then bring them together as how we can be healthy and fit at the same time. So, the World Health Organization's definition of overall health at the moment is that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not just merely the absence of disease or infirmity, I
believe it is, which is physical or mental weakness.
Nice. So
it's quite a good definition there, but it's not often the one that we sort of think about or hear, is it?
I guess everything's always about just that one physical aspect, and the mental and social well-being gets left in the dark, which is, I guess, 2/3 of the overall definition. So we're concentrating too much on the physical stuff and not on the two other important aspects.
Big time. And often I think people think of health as just not being sick, or the absence of disease, which is, it is easy to see that, especially with the sort of health system that we've got at the moment, or the health care, and that's very much what it's based on. If you're sick or you've got an illness, you go and get better, you go and get healthy again. But I think health should be thought of more as a continuum, where sickness or illness or disease is down at one end, and then at the other end, whether it be ultimate health or ongoing health or never needing a doctor, whatever it is well down at the other end, and everyone will sort of fall on that continuum somewhere, whether it be not sick or pretty close to being sick, or ultimately extremely healthy, not having to go see a doctor. But most people seem to sort of live down at that lower 20% of the continuum, where everyone's just avoiding sickness almost on a day-to-day basis, and not really focused on maximising their health.
Absolutely. I think if you're living day to day, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not eating properly, you're like Matty said, you're just avoiding being sick rather than maximising that health and fitness, which is what we want to sort of encourage you to do, rather than go, I don't need the doctor today, so I'm healthy, which is and maybe you might even be physically healthy, but with what you're doing, you might not be socially healthy, you might not be mentally healthy with the way with the lifestyle that you're leading, whether it be with sleep or what physical activity you're doing. You might not like the physical activity you're doing, so therefore mentally you're negative towards that. So on that continuum, you're still going to be falling into that lower 20%.
Big time. That's an interesting point as well, that a lot of people that are mentally unwell are also physically unwell. Imagine that at any psychiatric hospital, they're giving out a lot of drugs for psychological problems, but probably also as much, if not more, medication for the physical problems
Absolutely.
that the patients have as well. And while those two things are quite well addressed in today's society, I guess mental and physical, because I guess there is a pill for them, social well-being as well. It's not something that you ever really think about.
No.
Or a medical or a health professional would probably not even really think about either, but it's just as critical to the equation.
I guess when you go and see your personal trainer or your gym instructor, you don't really talk about how your relationship with other people throughout life is. You just sort of talk about just the physical stuff, and your training. They're saying that you're getting fitter, you're getting healthier, your overall health and fitness is increasing, but then you might have no mates. You might have crappy relationships with the people you care about. You might, you might be mentally hating the physical training that you're doing to get yourself healthy and fit. So you're sort of going in circles. So I guess, we want to really drive home the fact that it is physical, mental, and social, not just physical.
Big time. So that's pretty good summary of health, I guess. Let's move on to fitness and have a look at that bad boy. So I had a wee look around for some definitions of fitness, or what it is to be fit. But I mean, the standard definition of fitness is a condition of being physically fit and healthy, which doesn't really tell us too much. The one that I really do like and really does hammer home is being fit is the suitability to fulfill a particular role or task. And so if you're fit for a role or a task, that says that your fitness is where it needs to be. And the task that everyone has to face, no matter who you are, is that of life. And this is where the name Be Life Fit really came from, and what really resonates with us is that we want as many people as possible to be suitable to fulfill the role or the task that is life.
Just basically being able to fill their day-to-day needs, like with the, I guess you got a couple of good examples there, Maddie, with we're both there, I can say. we were coming home from a wee beach session we were doing, and there was a couple of old ladies crouched down at a bench, and they were stuck on the grass with their walking frames. They couldn't get up. Maddie told me to pull the car over, ran, found they were stuck. We were able to help them up and get back to their house, but there was another guy there he was waiting at the bus stop beside them, and he was there when we got there, but he wasn't physically able to help these two ladies get out of the predicament they were in. So I guess for that guy, he wasn't particularly life fit for that particular situation. So he wasn't fit to fulfill the particular role of helping these two old ladies off the grass, carrying them across the road. Definitely.
And to be fair, Shanks almost wasn't ready for it either, since we'd just been at the beach filming some kettlebell exercises, but that's a story for another day. And the other example that sort of really hits home for me is I was running home one morning after taking my regular spin class, and I came across a car crash, upside down, first person on the scene, and ended up having to pull two people from the upside down car, sort of support and carry them across the road. And while I was the first person there were quickly some other people there as well, but again, they were sort of elderly, couldn't help in the situation, weren't particularly fit to fulfill the particular role that was required at that time. So just being physically fit, healthy and able to, deal with whatever life throws at you is what Be Life Fit is all about.
Absolutely. I mean, we go into the next thing with so obviously before talking about health, that's the physical, mental and social. Talking about fitness, that does only relate to the physical thing, okay, I guess what we're talking about. So the condition of being physically fit and healthy, and then we've got the components of fitness, okay, so we've got cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, and body composition, okay? So if you've got a pretty good level of all these 5 components, then you're going to be classed by this ideology of you're going to be classed as physically fit, okay? So we see a lot of, examples of people who are fit. So maybe bodybuilders might look like they're fit, or a pro cyclist might look like they're fit, but if you go back to Maddie's example of the car crash, I think compared to Maddie, both of these different groups of people, the bodybuilders, they'll be puffed out by the time they got to the car, and the elite cyclists, by the time they got to the car, they'll be there fast, but once they're there, they might not have that muscular strength to help out. So these two incredibly fit seeming groups of people still weren't as useful, wouldn't be, in my opinion, as useful in that situation as Maddie was, okay? And Maddie's not a bodybuilder or a pro cyclist, okay? So he's, in my opinion, more life fit than both those two groups of people.
For sure. I mean, that's the key thing with fitness is we often mistake, I think, fitness or misconstrue fitness as just being aerobically fit, maybe, or
just strong,
or
looking good.
Yeah, looking good's the main one, I guess. And but yeah, the key thing with fitness is it is made up of that cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, that strength, flexibility, and body composition. And I guess if you look at the current, health and fitness industry, or the marketing that they do, it's very much based, I guess, around body composition. And I almost think that'd be one of the least important components of fitness. If you focused on the other four, improving your endurance, muscular endurance, strength and flexibility, body composition almost takes care of itself.
Definitely. I mean, we're designed to carry some fat anyway, and the whole the health and fitness industry with the bodybuilding scene and the body composition aspect sort of says that if you've got no fat, then you're healthy, which is not ideal at all. So you can have super low fat and your cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, even strength and flexibility can still be out the window. But since you've got good body composition, you can be perceived as healthy in the current sort of industry we've got at the moment. So yeah, I mean it's the same with the other aspect as well. With the aerobic, you can be super cardiovascular fit and be able to run a marathon in 2.5 hours or whatever. But if your strength and flexibility isn't there, then you're not that overall fitness. So yeah, I mean,
let's have a look at some examples. So if we've got, say, for an example, a yoga person, a yogi that's extremely flexible, low body composition, but if they had to run anywhere, bike anywhere, they've got no cardiovascular endurance, potentially, and minimal strength.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the other end is, almost the poster boys and poster girls of the health and fitness industry is bodybuilders. I mean, we could probably spend all day talking about bodybuilders, but they have minimal cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance and muscular strength at certain times of their training is quite high. But if they were to be based on what they're like on competition day, they would be out the window.
Yeah.
And flexibility, some of them are definitely fairly flexible, but the only thing that they're really focused on is body composition, almost to that unhealthy level as well.
Yeah, so when you see them, we don't want to make this an us and them sort of thing, but when you see the bodybuilders and the, all the posters with the ripped guys and the fitness model girls, when you see them looking their best, they're, like Matt was saying, they're often at their worst. To look like that, they haven't eaten for weeks properly. They're dehydrated for a couple of days before their photo shoot or their competition. To get so dehydrated, half of them are even drinking a wee bit of alcohol before they go on stage, and to look like that, they're putting their overall health out the window. Really, anyone who purposely dehydrates themselves for to achieve anything is a wee bit crazy in my mind. But I mean, that's fine. If you're a bodybuilder and you're doing a competition, that's the way you got to do it. But to perceive that as a health and fitness industry, the gurus of the health and fitness industry, is just seems to be pretty ridiculous.
Big time. I mean, no hating on bodybuilders at all. It takes hard work, commitment, sacrifice, all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not healthy or it's not fitness.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's the big thing. Don't look at those sort of people and think, they're the pinnacle of health and fitness. So I think that's where a lot of the body image issues and, the way the fitness industry is marketed these days is all about weight loss. And I mean, weight loss is only, 1/5 of total overall components of fitness, or one of the aspects of fitness. So
Absolutely. I mean, if you're listening to this, then a little inkling, or maybe one of your goals, probably because you've been told that's what your goal should be, probably is to lose some fat and get that body composition sorted. What we would recommend, I guess, or think, is that if you work on the other four, like Maddie said, if you work on your cardiovascular endurance, if you work on muscular endurance, muscular strength and flexibility, leave out body composition out of the equation, you might be pleasantly surprised, and that may just happen itself. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's all about what your sort of goals are, and then if you've got this goal of just body composition, it's probably going to be a tough road to achieving that goal, because you'll never be happy. Looking in the mirror every day, I haven't changed yet. Looking in the mirror, I haven't changed yet. Yeah,
big time, and I think that comes back to that. If you're striving for health and fitness, with health, we covered physical, mental and social well-being. Many people that are trying to be physically fit and healthy are focused so much on that body composition that they have a very negative mental approach to their training.
Definitely.
Because it's just there to thrash my body, to burn energy, to lose weight. And they also have a very negative relationship with food.
Absolutely.
Is that they can't eat that because it's bad food, or they can't eat this because it's bad, or it's negative, it's going to make me fat. All that sort of stuff is not healthy in the overall context of health. So really focusing on the positives about improving your cardiovascular endurance, improving your muscular endurance, improving your strength, improving your flexibility. If you focus on those and start taking the positive steps, sort of that body composition will take care of itself, and hopefully that you'll be sort of more well-rounded in terms of your health. I mean, another classic one is endurance athletes. Something I see a lot as well through my role as a sports scientist and a performance coach is you'll have, say, cyclists who are running extremely low body weights.
Yeah.
Cardiovascular endurance and muscular endurance is through the roof, but their strength starts to become sacrificed because their body starts eating itself, essentially. Start cannibalizing that muscle, just because they are in such a state of nutrient deprivation. Their muscles start to break down, and while you see a lot of it in the Tour de France, very, very lean cyclists, all of those guys, well, let's make an assumption that some of them are on performance enhancing drugs, and that allows them to stay at that low body weight while still performing well. However, if you just had a normal person at that low body weight, they'd be getting sick, they are not able to perform, they are not able to respond to their training. So again, someone that we look at in day-to-day life, professional cyclists, professional runners, look very fit, but
and are perceived as fit.
Are perceived as very fit. Only a couple of aspects of the components of fitness are ticked off, but also their health is extremely compromised.
For sure. I mean, I read a book. It's called Tyler Hamilton's book. I forget the title of the book.
The Secret Race.
The Secret Race. It is
Good
Tyler
book
Hamilton's
there.
book. Yeah.
We'll probably link to that in the show notes for you.
Absolutely. So with that, he was Lance Armstrong's teammate, and he sort of he brought a book out before Lance came out, and said he was on performance enhancing drugs. And these guys are, again perceived as some of the fittest humans on the planet. Healthiest and fittest. But what Tyler sort of comes across in his book is that for him it wasn't worth it. Taking the performance enhancing drugs. Like, he was clinically diagnosed with depression. He was socially, the relationship he had with his teammates and his coaches was just awful. So physically, yeah, he was on the gear. He was physically the man. Mental and socially wasn't doing it for him. Okay, so it wasn't worth it. It was he was fit, but not healthy. And again, with the fitness, he wasn't even fully fit. He was cardiovascular endurance fit, muscular endurance fit, body composition fit. He wasn't strong or flexible. Okay, so he wasn't really there at all. But in society, he was perceived as the man.
I mean, that's a really good example, and one of the other ones as well, I guess, is celebrities these days. Often, in the movies, you'll have the leading guy or the leading lady looking extremely fit, muscular, lean, whatever it is. And these people obviously work very hard to get it to look like that. And then we have all these cases of celebrities overdosing on drugs, committing suicide, having to go to rehab, and this constant cycle of almost self-destruction. And while they physically appear to be fit and healthy, they mentally and socially, one would argue that they're nowhere near any state of health.
Absolutely not.
Let alone at the top of our continuum of ultimate health.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it comes across with the celebrities as well, the whole, even the whole Photoshop thing with all the magazines, it's, one that's been out for ages, the whole front of magazine covers and stuff. It's just not, half the time it's not even an achievable goal to have, to be like these. If you look at the movie 300, main actor in that, he's absolutely ripped to shreds, Gerard Butler, big Spartan, and then 2 weeks later at the red carpet he looks tiny, so he's in the movies, train the Spartan in the 300 workout, 50 reps this, 50 reps that, you'll look like Gerard Butler. You probably won't. It's a good workout, I recommend doing it, very good workout, but that's definitely not what Gerard Butler did to look like that. He didn't even look like that. a few computers going on there, so it's just this perception.
Couple of grand and computer technicians looking like that. No worries.
Hey, if you want your Facebook profile to look like that, just call up a Photoshop artist and you'll be the man. But
I'm sure you'll be able to find a gig on Fiverr for that.
But in real life, people might be disappointed when they see you in real person. So it's just that unachievable perception of what health and fitness is. From that top level, from that, what we're being shoved down our throats with the fitness models and the celebrities and the cyclists and stuff. I guess, just sort of refocusing on what it is to be actually healthy and actually fit. We're going to start to maybe make some people angry. They might lose some business, but hey, that's alright. You'll be fitter and healthier from it, hopefully.
Awesome. So I think that sort of covers it. We went off topic a little bit, which is kind of rare for us. In summary, I guess the biggest thing is to really understand what health and fitness is all about, and not just focus on the components that sort of get marketed to everybody in social media and popular media these days as well.
Absolutely. And saying that, if you're listening to this and you're a bodybuilder, does competitions, that's great. If you're a competitive runner or an endurance athlete, cyclist, that's great as well. I guess all we're saying is, depending on how into that you are, how much of that goal, how much of your life is that goal, determines on maybe how much you want to sacrifice your overall health and fitness for those things. So, I mean, if these things we've sort of been saying aren't physically or overall health and fitness, that's fine, that's great. But for the rest of us, I guess, just learning what that overall health and fitness really is important. Okay, so
big time. And I mean, coming from from the other side of not just thinking about health and fitness, but training for physical performance.
We've both come from there.
Exactly. And I mean, athletes of all ability need to have a very good foundation of health. If they don't, then their performance is going to fall to pieces.
Absolutely.
How good are you at running a marathon when you're in bed with the flu?
Yeah, that's right.
Your performance is
sure.
very average.
Even how good are you going to be at running a marathon if you're in a physically and socially bad place? You're going to get halfway through that marathon and mentally crash.
Have no supporters.
No supporters, just mentally you're thinking about the rest of your life going, man, I'm pretty fast, I'm running 3-minute Ks, but I hate it. And, I ran so much, my girlfriend left me, it sucks, you know, so you're probably not going to finish that race at 3-minute K. So even if you are these things, you need that foundation of, the overall health and fitness. So something for you guys to think about. But yeah, I mean, the general population, I think, needs to get away from just the body comp and start focusing on every aspect that they possibly can to fulfill the task of life.
Awesome, that's right. Be life fit. So there it is, podcast number 1 complete. If you got any questions, any feedback for us, please let us know, so that we can keep answering you guys' questions, so that we can keep giving you the information that you want to hear and want to know about.
Tell us how you'd like to hear it as well. If you want us to do a video, if you want us to do an article, a blog post, or another podcast on whatever. Yeah, if you've got a question, say blah blah blah, I want it, you do a video on it, and we'll do a video on it for you.
Brilliant. Alrighty guys, we'll catch you later. Get out there and be life fit.